Assalamu alaikum and peace be unto you. Welcome to the Sajdah channel and welcome, moreover, to the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talk, where we talk about life, love, and business. And we'll be right back in a few minutes to talk about just that. Stay tuned.
O Allah, guide me among those whom Thou hast guided aright, and preserve me among those whom Thou hast preserved, and befriend me among those whom Thou hast befriended. Bless me in whatsoever Thou dost grant me, and deliver me from the evil of what Thou hast judged. Surely Thou judgest, and none can judge against Thee, and he whom Thou befriendest is not disgraced. Blessed art Thou, O Lord, and exalted be Thee above what they set up besides Thee. I bear witness, nothing deserved to be served besides Thee, and I bear witness that Muhammad is Thy servant and apostle. Amen.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace be unto you. Welcome to the Sajdah channel, the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talk, where we talk about life, love, and business. I hope you all have had a good week. How did you spend your week? What kind of time did you waste, and what kind of time did you value? Did you collapse time this week? What did you do? So I woke up this morning um, with an overwhelming sense of gratitude regarding time. And I was immediately drawn, of course, to the Holy Quran, Surah 103, entitled the time Al Asr, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, by the time, surely man is in loss, except those who believe and do good and exhort one another to truth and exhort one another to patience. And so I started asking Allah, I was just being very curious, and I said, is that the best use of our time? Is this a concept, as some people say, that's an illusion? Is it, not real? And so I just wanted to just kind of bang this out a little bit today in conversation, just to get us to thinking. Um, and for me, feeling most grateful for time and most grateful for the value of time. And I started many years ago with a lot of concepts about how I move through life that I believe are not remnants of my former kidnapper's way of being. Um, Things like I don't compete. So if you're around me and you're a competitor and you're into competition, you're going to have a rough time, because I don't compete. I focus really intensely on what I can do better and how I can align myself with Allah. And so competition and what you're doing and what you got on and where your business is, it's not relevant to me, because I live my life based on a timeline that is aligned with whatever assignment and whatever level of development that I'm on at the time. It's just one of the concepts. The other concept is counting time in a traditional way and seeing myself in relation to how our kidnappers see us as it relates to time. So we talked about this a little bit during DecaFest. When you are a commodity or when you are a product, your value is attached to what you produce for, or what that commodity will produce for the person that owns the commodity, right? So if as a commodity, your most value to me is your physical production and your physical reproduction. If that's of most value to the person that owns and controls you, then you're going to have more value during the time span of your life where you're most productive and most reproductive. Okay. And then if I don't see value in you outside of that physical production in terms of training, knowledge, whatever, if I don't see value in that, then I would look at you and say, well, your value goes down. Okay. We see that a lot in pop culture because whoever's controlling the culture gets most value out of their return from their control of the culture when the person or the people who are creating the culture can produce the most rapid, the newest, really the most rapid and the newest and the most productive people in the culture. I said that in a weird way. If you can produce new stuff, if you can reproduce, you get more value. So a lot of times the artists that have been around for a while, for example, whose music we love, in pop culture, and I'm sorry, I'm supposed to have on white today for Frankie Beverly. I go put my white on after this. In pop culture, the older you are, the less value they attach to you. In our culture, in our spiritual indigenous culture, those artists like a Frankie Beverly, whose music is so therapeutic and so beautiful, his transition is like Michael Jackson to the pop culture in our community. It's huge. It's huge. So today we're all supposed to wear white for Frankie Beverly, and I apologize. I should have on my white today, but I will go and put it on. So when I'm out and about during the day, I got my white on for Frankie. Point being is I stopped looking at time like that. I start looking at time in conjunction with how many more efforts do I have to submit to the will of God? How many more efforts do I have to experience God in this plane? That's how I start seeing things. So I don't look at things like age or the length of time of things. So because I started doing that, I make sure that I'm really big on time management and project management. So I project manage myself. So I'm organized throughout the day in terms of what I'm going to do, but I'm organizing my time not from a standpoint of, well, let me put it this way. I'm organizing my time in conjunction with the experience that I can produce. Okay. So if Allah says, surely by the time man is at loss, except those who believe and do good. So to me, that means that I'm collapsing timelines when I'm doing good. So whatever I have to do, I have to find a way to do good in order to make the most value of the time by doing good. Then he says, and exhort one another to truth and exhort one another to patience. So how much time am I spending as an entrepreneur doing good, exhorting others to truth and patience within the context of the business that I have put together for myself? That's the best use of my time. Otherwise, I'm losing time. And sometimes that's a real tough concept for us to understand. I'm going to say it again. Because we are accustomed to thinking of time as it relates to what we produce. I did this today, I did that today, I got that done, I got this done. When you get home at the end of the day and somebody says, how was your day? You start talking about what you produced and who you met, how you connected. But is that the proper way to look at time? Now, I'm not saying that all of a sudden we don't have to be productive and that we shouldn't be productive because obviously we're in this earthly plane and there's productivity that has to happen. But moving into a higher spiritual range, what is the best use of time? And the Holy Quran tells us what the best use of time is. Doing good, believing, those who believe. So this is very powerful. How much time throughout the day did you believe? Did you believe in Allah? Did you believe in yourself? How much time did you believe? Because it is those periods of time where you had gaps in your belief that caused you to waste time and not be, quote unquote, productive or not see the fruits of your belief. So surely by the time man is at loss, except those who believe. So counting your periods of belief throughout the course of the day and being conscious of that belief is extremely important. Because think about it. We start our day off, we wake up, we may do our prayers, and we in a belief state, right? I believe I can do it. I believe I'm worthy. I got this. And then somebody calls you on the phone. You get a bill collector that calls you and curses you out and triggers you and sends you spiraling. Or you get a call from a friend or a relative that tells you some bad news and sends you spiraling. And in that spiraling moment, what happened to your belief? And at what point did that lack of belief shorten your time and give you less access to what it is that you want out of life? That little short vibrational period of time, that period of lack of belief. How much extra time did you add on to the timeline you put together to finish whatever it was you were supposed to do? Let's say you got a big project you're working on, and all of a sudden somebody comes and talks to you and they don't believe you can do it. So they start talking a little bit of negativity, and they may even care about you and love you. So you listen and they're like, well, might be tough. It might be rough. It might be hard. Guess what? You are now losing time and you're lengthening the amount of time that it's going to take for you to get to your goal. So when you think about whether or not you had a good day, think about how you continue to string together your belief system, your belief moments. And how many periods of time during the day did you just forget believing? And I'm going to go here. And I know some of you are still struggling with the productivity piece because you're like, look, I got to go to work. I got to do this. I got to do that. You can be more productive and you can produce better products and services and a better outcome for yourself if your belief system is intact throughout the timeline that you've put together for yourself. Talk to me in the chat if y'all getting this. And do good. So it says and, which means plus. So you want to believe, but you can't believe and then go steal something from somebody. You can't say I believe and then go kill somebody. You can't say I believe and then go talk negatively and do bad by somebody. So believing and doing good, because not doing good is going to cancel out that belief that you had during that time. So time should be spent believing, doing good. And here's another plus, exhorting one another to truth and exhorting one another to patience. That should be the foundation and the underbelly of how we spend our time. So if you go to work, if you work on a car all day, you're a mechanic, then what is your underlying interpretation of that? Well, I first got to believe. I got to believe that I'm going to do a good job I'm going to be successful at fixing these cars today. I got to believe that I'm going to get the customers that I need. I got to believe that I'm worthy of the wealth. I got to believe that I'm going to be in the right place, in the right space, in the right time. I can't have no disbelief about that, or else I'm lengthening the time it's going to take. Say it another way. That belief can accelerate what you want. This is why it's important that at night before you go to bed, that you don't fall asleep to anything other than something that causes you to stay in that belief vibration. Because what happens to us, we fall asleep, we watch some show, some movie, and then all of a sudden we wake up in the morning and it's almost like we're starting all over. Or we made 10 steps on Monday, went to bed that night watching some crazy show, woke up that morning, and instead of having advanced those 10 steps, now we're back to step 5. It's because there was no continuation of the belief during that timeline. See, had we kept that belief vibration stringing along, we would have done what I'm calling collapse time. So in other words, now when you get to work that morning or you wake up in the morning, something that can help you advance your cause will just fall into your lap. Why? Because you're vibrationally aligned with it. I hope you all getting this. I hope you're getting it. Let me see who we got in the chat. Good morning, Brother Lamont. I see you. Walaikum salam. Welcome, sir. Happy Saturday, Mom. Walaikum salam, Sister Monica. Walaikum salam, Sister Aurelia. She said, Grand Rising teach on respect and gratitude time. Yeah. And Sanwabile, welcome. Morning. You in NYC for a short while. Okay, welcome. Sanwabile is from South Africa. So welcome. I think, did I meet you in South Africa, Sanwabile? I can't remember. Correct me where it's either South Africa or Nigeria, right? Help me out. Time. How do you spend that time? See, what this is teaching us is that even if you sitting on the couch, and let's say you say, I should be sweeping this floor. If you sit on the couch in belief, doing good, exhorting other people to truth and patience, that's better than you sweeping the floor, but cursing out everybody at the same time. You might have got the floor swept, but what did you do to your vibration? See, the Holy Quran didn't say it's to those who are most productive. Time is best for those who are more productive. It didn't really talk about that. And I don't want us to get spooky. It's not that we don't have to be productive, but what are we doing while we're productive, and why are we doing what we're doing? See, what we want to do is find a way to fill our life with purpose. And then you start collapsing time. What do I mean by that? Have you ever been so aligned, so in your belief space that opportunities, you just have a day where everywhere you went, opportunities was just coming to you. People was flowing towards you saying, hey, what about this? You were getting phone calls and things like that. You collapse in time because the amount of time it would have taken you to accomplish what that introduction accomplished for you, or the amount of time it would have taken you to accomplish what that phone call did for you, was shortened by the fact that you were in so alignment because of your belief and the way you properly use time. Here, you collapsed your timeline. This is why We have to be careful with who we spend our time with and what we spend our time doing. Because if you are in a situation, this is why I don't compete. Because if you're in a situation where you're spending time competing against somebody else, your vibration is all off. And according to the Holy Quran, this is my interpretation, you are losing time because you're not doing those things that are mentioned. Remember, we're only here. We're only here so that God can make himself known. You're not here really to go to work. It's just things that you got to do because of this complex world that we live in. And we could talk about that a little bit later. But we're here so that God can make himself known. And the disbelievers who are looking at you saying, she crazy, she can't do it, I don't know what she's doing, she ugly, I don't know why she's this, I don't know why she's a Muslim, I don't know why, blah, 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 blah. The disbelievers who are looking at that will see God show up and show out when you align yourself properly with faith and the favor that is over your life. But if you take time and make a mistake and allow those disbelieving people to negotiate you out of your favor, then guess what? You're going to miss the boat and you're wasting time. Because instead of focusing on believing and being faithful and doing good and exhorting others to truth and to patience, you over here worried about what they think, and you're so focused on combating their disbelief that you're competing against them. Because a person who's obsessively competitive is insecure. That's a person who doesn't believe that they have a certain level of worth, so they're constantly looking at other people and trying to copy what they do. And it's a death blow for those of us in business that do that. A death blow. Let me tell you. And I'm gonna tell you why. And I have to correct entrepreneurs about this all the time as I'm coaching. Let's say I sell coffee mugs in my business. And you see me online, I'm selling coffee mugs. And my people love my coffee mugs. It makes sense why I'm selling coffee mugs. I have a coffee talk that I do. I own a museum that is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad House Museum. Coffee is a cultural staple in our Muslim community. A lot of us, we fast, we drink coffee, we meet over coffee. Coffee is a big deal to us. So culturally, coffee makes sense in my world. And a coffee cup makes sense in my world, I should say. But let's say you own a bar. Or no, let's say you own a bar or a music company. Okay. And most of the people in your world ain't thinking about no coffee cup. They need a shot. They want a shot glass or something, champagne glass, something, because that's the world that you're in. If you're watching me online and you see me getting a coffee cup and you decide I'm going to sell coffee cups too, you probably just wasted your money. And if that's how you operate and if that's how you operate and your business plan is just doing what you see somebody else do, you're going to be messed up. Not only are you going to waste money, you're going to waste time, and you're going to waste your brand image because it looks stupid. So for your brand, it doesn't go together. So when I'm talking to clients, I'm constantly talking to you about your brand and what goes best with your brand. I'm like, let's brainstorm. Let's be creative. Let's do what makes sense for your brand, not what you've seen somebody else do. Because the person who owns that business is not you. Their business is not your business, even if it looks like it's the same. Might be two different restaurants, but the owner's different, the neighborhood's different, the customers are different. So it's just different stuff. So that competition, that insecurity that we have where we just can't take it, we got to just copy off of everybody else. You got to break yourself of that if you want to be successful. Especially if you want to be a successful entrepreneur, you got to break yourself of that. And the way to break yourself of it is to start thinking about time differently. And that's what we're talking about here today. Sister Betty said, yes, God will. I see you, sis. Let me know if you have any questions about this. And I will try to answer. I'm not going to go on too much further on it because I want you all to think about it. You got to think about time differently. Think about, if you ask yourself at the end of the day, did I have a good day? Don't first, and I know we have to measure how much we produce, but don't start off the thought or the evaluation with the thought. Don't start the evaluation off with the thought of productivity. Start the evaluation of your day off with how many times you lost belief throughout the course of the day and how many times you maintained your belief throughout the course of the day. And you could lose belief and you may say, well, no, I always believe. Measure your belief by the demonstration of your actions throughout the course of the day. So if you had a moment where you got insecure and you copied off of somebody and became a competitor, or you talked negatively about somebody, or you hurt somebody, in that moment, you should realize at some point I lost my belief. And then how many times throughout the day did you do good? We're not talking about just running outside and giving people out on the corner $1. I'm talking about doing good. If you're doing good in terms of planning a business, maybe the work you're doing is work that is doing good in the community. But how often did you do good? And did you engage in any activity that did not contribute to your doing of good? Or did you engage in any activity that just was not good at all? And then how many times did you encourage somebody to truth and patience? Meaning what? Whether it was your testimony, whether it was your presence somewhere that was so pent up and buttoned up and put together that it gave somebody faith. That's how you start the evaluation off, when you start to evaluate time. And then you can go back and say, all right, now I got this deadline. I got that deadline. I got to get this done. And I got half of it done today. I'm going to get the other half done tomorrow. But your evaluation of your day should start off with the time components we just shared from the whole, and evaluating ourselves based on those time components. And when we stay in that space, we start collapsing timelines. We start moving and accelerating through life, through projects, through our job. We start moving and accelerating. Okay? We can collapse time when we do those things. And that's the idea, right? Again, going back to using your mind so that you accomplish things that are beyond your intellectual capacity. Same thing goes in the converse, okay? When you find yourself not quite being as productive as you want to be. When you find yourself maybe not having what you really want, if you find yourself going, man, I done got tight. I ain't got no money right now. No clients coming in. If you find yourself doing that, go back to those 4 components and align yourself with those 4 components. And when you align yourself with those 4 components, it's like the engine starting back up again. You know, it's like you're in a car and then you get stuck in the mud and you ain't moving. How do you get yourself out of the mud? Go back to those 4 components. And then you're going to start realigning your vibration and accelerating yourself through the timeline, which in essence collapses the timeline. And then when you sit back at the end of the day and evaluate your day, did I have a good day? How was my day? How did I do today? Begin the evaluation with those 4 components and then talk about your productivity. Okay. So thank you all. I hope y'all got that today. I woke up this morning and something said, talk about time and talk about those 4 components of time and how those 4 components of time, if we submit to them and practice them, they will not only make us more productive, they will collapse time, and we don't have to continue to see time the way our kidnapper sees time. And we don't have to evaluate ourselves based on his or her evaluation of us and our relationship to time and productivity for them. Okay. It's a tough concept, especially if you come out of the corporate world. And a lot of business people struggle go from technician, especially if you were in a corporate, to entrepreneur. You don't have it. You don't have the concept yet. You structure your independent entrepreneurial life like a corporate job. That's a mistake that most of us do. So in essence, we just own a job. So sometimes you can set yourself up like a corporate job and you'll make some money, but you're going to always be frustrated because your income's going to go like this. So some of these concepts we're talking about, this one in particular about seeing time differently based on those 4 components, is going to shift you from technician to creator to entrepreneur, right? Because a true entrepreneur is really a creator. We don't make money, we create money. But if you just own a job, you're thinking, man, I got to make some money. I got to do this. I got to make some money. But that's the wrong way to look at it. You should be saying, I create money. Because as an entrepreneur, that's what you do. You create money. You don't make money. See, make money has a different energy than create money. Okay? Different vibrations. So we'll talk about this a little bit more. Maybe Monday, when we come back on Monday, I'm pushing back our financial series just because I'm still going through putting it together. But we're real close to it. So I think maybe Monday we'll talk about the concept of creating money versus making money so that we can all shift from that corporate technician to an entrepreneur or an artist. When you all hear me talk about old business models no longer work, a lot of us hear that and go, that's right, that's right. But we have our entrepreneurial endeavor set up like a job. And when you're set up like that, you're going to make job money. You're going to get job results. And if you are not able to pay yourself at a certain level, the income level of that job that you created is going to be limited and it's going to have a roller coaster and more than likely going to be low. So when you come in and you get coaching from me, I can tell how much money you're making or not making by how you have things structured and by your belief system in your head. So let's talk about that on Monday. Creating versus making money. All right. I see you on the chat. Walaikum salam, Sister Alita. Sister Betty said, this is great teaching, sis. Thank you. Brother Lamont, good point. Make and create. There is a difference. There's a different vibration. Brother Lamont, you're in real estate. You're in sales. If you wake up and you go out and you're showing houses and you say, I got to go make money, that's a low vibration, and it's much harder than if you leave the house and you say, let me go create some money. Let me go create opportunity. That's different. That's a different vibration. That's why a lot of salespeople don't do good with sales. And you see them, they just making call after call and meeting after meeting after meeting, and the money's low, little, because they're thinking about making money. And when you think about making money, you're thinking about making it just like in the context of your kidnapper who said, go make that money for me. How did you make money? How did you show your value to your kidnapper? You stayed busy. You worked hour after hour. You made sure that you did what you were supposed to do during that time period. And every minute of the day was probably accounted for. But when you make that shift, if you're a lawyer and you're working for a firm, if you're an accountant and you're working for a firm, whatever it is, you got to make the shift. You got to go from technician to artist, from technician to creator, making to creating. And when you think about that, about creating money, money will come a lot easier to you, and it'll be a lot easier for you to make, if you will. It will flow more rapidly to you if you shift those and use those 4 components of time when you evaluate your project management process for yourself and shift your mindset from make money to create money. That'll also stop you from saying to yourself, well, I can't do this because I don't got no money. That never becomes a factor because you're always in that creative process. We'll talk about it Monday. All right, let me go put my white on for Frankie Beverly. So we are all supposed to be wearing white today for Frankie. I should have had that on the show. I got some things to do today, so I'm going to be out and about in my white. Let me go put it on and get it together. All right, peace and blessings, family. I will see you all Monday, inshallah, on our Sajdah's Monday Morning Motivation. We'll be talking about making money versus creating money. And stay tuned. We got some exciting announcement. I got a couple new products coming out. Sister Betty says she got her white on. That's right. Couple new products coming out. We got some exciting announcements about Sajdah House. We are in that creative space over here. Okay. So stay tuned. I'm excited. These are exciting times. Tune in, tap in, plug in, get some of this exciting, contagious energy. And we're going to have a good weekend. All right. Rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. I would play his music, but they'll probably shut us down if we do that. So when we get off, play you a Frankie Beverly song and go put your white on. All right. We'll see you all today out and about. Love you all.